doesn't mean that Hillary would have been a good choice.
No.
She was a terrible choice. She's a corrupt politician, one of the most unlikable people that's ever run for office. They were trying to get people to be supporting her just because she's a woman. This is going to be her history. Women, ladies, I stand with her. So there's all these women that have this blind allegiance towards this career politician, completely full of shit. She's been full of shit forever.
Hillary says Democrats trap, pushing woke crap. So the Dems have become so dense that even she's making sense. In a new interview, Hillary Clinton, the first lady of second place. What's that? Terrible.
When Hillary Clinton's name showed up in the news again, Joe Rogan and Greg Gutfeld didn't hesitate. They came ready with jokes that were sharper than a school debate, and sarcasm hotter than her erased emails. They made fun of every public moment, and failed comeback like it was talent show night for political mess-ups. From charity problems to clothing choices, nothing was off limits. This wasn't just making fun of someone. It was a complete takedown of everything Clinton has done, and it's really funny and mean from beginning to end.
I was infuriated when people that I knew that I was friends with were trying to tell me that Hillary Clinton was a good choice. And that's the same choice. I'm like, look, I don't know if she's murdered people, but I know that I worry that she's murdered people. That's a real. I really wonder. Seth Rich.
I know. First of all, just leave. You don't even need to go there. You know,
there's so many other things.
There's so many other things that we know for a fact.
The Clinton Foundation, for instance.
You look at Hillary. She uses the phrase. What was it? I wrote it down here. Handmaiden to the patriarchy, which I think she means she's bashing Monica Lewinsky. I'm not sure. This only is appealing to an ever-shrinking circle of feminist women, the same who bow to the altar of trans men and keep silent when real women are victimized by really bad men. But again, it's another assigned opinion that's lazily presented, men against women.
Every time Hillary Clinton goes away from being famous, she comes back like a scary ghost, bothering a country that's already tired of drama. The woman has changed her image more times than a fast food place that keeps trying to make people think their new French fries actually taste better. Joe Rogan and Greg Gutfeld didn't even need to get ready for this roast. They just looked at the list of Hillary's achievements and almost laughed to heart at all the fake stuff.
Will her new foreign policy class change minds that she's a horse's ass? This week, Columbia University shared a video promoting a new course that's co-taught by Hillary Clinton. Believe me, no one's more thrilled to have Hillary out of the house than Bill. Speaking of Bill, if you're a lady who is a solid 8 or above, he'll tutor you for free.
If you like this video, please make sure to follow the channel and hit the bell button. It all starts with her world record ability to avoid getting in trouble. If being slippery were a sport in the Olympics, she'd have more gold medals than Michael Phelps. From Benghazi to the computer server story, Hillary doesn't take the blame. She holds it prisoner in a dark basement with a copy of what happened taped to its face, while everyone else in the country was trying to figure out how to open a PDF file. Hillary was out there breaking Blackberry phones like she was trying out for a new version of the movie Office Space.
I don't think the Clintons were involved with P. Diddy. Do you?
No, but Epstein.
Was Epstein involved with P. Diddy?
No, I just feel like these pedophile rings have to cross points, at some point.
I was infuriated when people that I knew that I was friends with were trying to tell me that Hillary Clinton was a good choice. And that's the same choice. I'm like, look, I don't know if she's murdered people, but I know that I worry that she's murdered people. That's a real. I really wonder. Seth Rich.
I know. First of all, just leave. You don't even need to go there. You know,
there's so many other things.
There's so many other things that we know for a fact.
Clinton Foundation, for instance.
And who could forget the famous private email server? That wasn't just a mistake. It was like a big Broadway show of bad choices. Most people use Gmail. Hillary used a homemade server like she was making handmade cover-ups in a Brooklyn basement. Joe Rogan didn't even need to make things sound worse. He just pointed out that she was basically handling government secrets, like a teenager hiding text messages from their parents.
First, she wasn't elected. Now Hillary's class gets rejected. True, even students on the left give Professor Clinton an F. Students in Hillary Clinton's new class says it sucks. Even more than an intern who... you know where this is going. But it's the smartest realization on campus since someone realized you could put vodka up your butt. Thanks, Shannon.
Greg Gutfeld jumped in like a sarcastic wrecking ball, wondering out loud how someone could work at the highest levels of government and still act like a beginner, trying to delete their internet history before mom comes home. The boldness of erasing 30,000 emails and then acting like she just accidentally cleared her Netflix list. That level of shamelessness deserves its own section in a museum.
White Dems seem to be going out of their way to lose elections by focusing on causes that only affect a small fraction of voters. Funny, asking Hillary how to win elections is like asking France how to win wars. But she seemed to admit the interview was right, chasing woke issues, noting, quote, "Look, the most important thing is to win the next election. The alternative is so frightening that whatever does not help you win should not be a..."
But Hillary's greatest magic trick wasn't making emails disappear. It was making honesty vanish from politics completely. Her campaign trail was filled with photo opportunities, fake smiles, and a deep, almost sick need to be liked by people. Who couldn't stand her? Greg swears that Hillary didn't even run for president. She just walked around in a pantsuit doing stiff robot waves until someone told her. The voting was over, and speaking of that pantsuit collection, has there ever been a candidate who dressed like they were always on their way to make peace between two alien worlds? Joe Rogan once joked that Hillary's clothes had more layers than her foreign policy disasters. This is the woman who stayed quiet while her husband turned the White House into a college party house paid for by the government instead of walking away from the scandal. She leaned into it like a desperate contestant on a political reality show called America's Next Top Helper.
If you watch the conversation between James Comey,
110 emails in 52 email chains been determined by the owning agency contains classified information.
when James Comey testified about what he did and what they found with the Hillary Clinton emails, and then her version of it,
I did not email any classified material to anyone. There is no classified material.
she's just a straight liar. She deleted 33,000
I
emails.
provided all my emails that could possibly be work-related.
Several thousand work-related emails that were not among the group of 30,000 emails returned by Secretary Clinton.
When they rigged the DNC, they rigged the primaries so that Bernie Sanders...
Greg Gutfeld practically started clapping sarcastically when he said Hillary's support for women only showed up when it helped her politically. And the rest of the time, it was locked in a safe next to those deleted emails. And then came 2016. The year Hillary Clinton lost to a real estate businessman with a Twitter obsession. Losing that election wasn't just a mistake, it was like the universe was making fun of her. Joe Rogan compared it to training your whole life for a marathon and getting beaten by a guy wearing flip-flops and yelling into a megaphone. Hillary had the Democratic Party, the media, Hollywood, and Wall Street helping her and still managed to get surprised by something like a clown car. Winning her entire campaign was like a boring speech disguised as a sad funeral talk. She walked into rallies like she was allergic to excitement, high-fiving invisible people and saying slogans that sounded like rejected insurance commercials. But let's get to the real stuff, the Clinton Foundation.
All right, she lost an election, and now she's projecting. Hillary Clinton went on The View this week, which immediately raises a serious question. What's the weight capacity for that stage? But you'll never guess what she talked about. Her love of gardening, the things she does to stay healthy, how much she adores catching and cooking stray kittens. Why was Donald Trump as...
Joe Rogan asked the obvious question. How do you run a charity and somehow end up richer than when you started? The foundation was supposed to help the world, but the only thing that got affected worldwide was the number of private jets landing in countries that just happened to need political favors. Greg joked that if you gave money to the Clinton Foundation, your money was probably used to buy another fog machine to create the illusion of doing good things. And what about her appearances? On TV, Hillary's attempt at being relatable was a never-ending circus. The hot sauce in my bag moment will go down in history as the most desperate attempt at connecting with culture since your uncle tried to do the dab dance. At Thanksgiving dinner, Greg made fun of her boring way of talking as the only known cure for not being able to sleep that doesn't need a doctor's prescription. She could talk about nuclear war and make it sound like a boring talk about Excel computer shortcuts. Every time she tried to get emotional, it felt like a broken GPS trying to find a new route through the valley of fake caring.
The Hillary Clintons are the people that are like maybe disrespectful to the servers, and you find out about it, they sent food back.
The Democrat wall of support for Hillary Clinton's use of a private, unsecure server for official government emails and attachments. Yeah, I remember all of that.
It's not the main guy, it's the support staff.
Her party rallied to her defense. And to this day, it maintains she did nothing wrong, of course.
Let's not ignore her foreign policy record. Joe pointed out that her reset button with Russia was so useless. It might as well have been labeled snooze. Every diplomatic effort she led felt like a poorly written sequel to a failed movie series. Lots of build-up, no payoff, and explosions in all the wrong places. Greg added that if chaos were money, Hillary would be the bank that prints it. And then there's her relationship with the media. A friendship so twisted it makes Game of Thrones look like a kindergarten play. She got easy interviews where the toughest question was probably, "What's your favorite flavor of being privileged?" And yet she still managed to seem fake. She went on a nationwide blame tour that made Taylor Swift's list of ex-boyfriends look like a small note. Greg Gutfeld swears that Hillary blamed everyone except her own mirror reflection. The voters were stupid, the media was sexist, the Electoral College was unfair. The only thing she didn't blame was the planet Mercury being in the wrong position.
Head around that.
Well, Hillary did the same thing.
Well, she's a congenital liar, as she was referred to by the New York Times.
And rightly so, but people forget this. She did talk about a firefight that she was involved
I
in.
was under sniper fire, and the worst thing about that people didn't give a shit about, she said when she was in Bosnia, she was under sniper fire. It's like, wait a minute, you're throwing the Secret Service under the bus. What kind of Secret Service is going to let the First Lady?
And when she wasn't crying about the election, she was trying to reinvent herself. A podcast, a Netflix deal, a book, then another book, then a mini TV series. Joe Rogan said she was trying to get more TV time than the Kardashians without realizing the audience was already asleep. Greg added that if political comeback came in the form of recycled memoirs, Hillary would be a saint by now. But don't think for 1 second she's finished, like a bad movie sequel that nobody asked for. Hillary's name keeps showing up whenever someone asks. And let's not forget her obsession with identity politics. Hillary doesn't build bridges. She plays hopscotch on crack lines. Her strategy isn't bringing voters together. It's cutting them into tiny boxes of race, gender, class, and pretending to be the voice for each one. Joe said she's like a diversity bingo card that came to life.
So miserable.
She was publicly humiliated, and she thought that her big retribution would become president.
I'm running for president, and I'm in it to win it.
Become president.
Sure.
And then that would be it. All water under the bridge. I'm a strong woman. I'm running this country. And then America was like,
And I'm sorry that we did not win this election for the values we share and the
Greg just called her the political version of spam email. You didn't ask for it. But it keeps showing up anyway. Even her attempts at being funny feel like a glitch in the computer. Every joke lands with the grace of a falling safe. Hillary trying to be funny is like a robot trying stand-up comedy. It's equally scary and awkward. Joe said if she did comedy, the punchline would be an FBI investigation. Greg said her timing was so bad it could be used to measure mistakes in geology, and somehow, despite everything, she still acts like she's owed something, like the presidency was on layaway at a store and America just forgot to make the final payment. Joe Rogan called it the most entitled attitude since Napoleon tried to conquer Russia in winter. Joe Rogan said watching Hillary campaign was like watching someone play Monopoly by flipping the board and demanding to win. Greg said she treated the White House like it was the final prize in a game show, called America's most exhausting politician. And even now she's out there giving speeches about democracy and honesty, like she's the moral compass we never asked for. It's like being lectured about not drinking by a guy doing shots in the parking lot. Joe said she's got more nerve than a dental school. Greg said she could sell ice to people living in igloos, but only if she also charged a processing fee and then blamed Russia when it melted. And just when you think it's over, she releases another statement, another tweet, another documentary that nobody asked for. She's like political Wi-Fi, always popping up in places where it's completely unnecessary and rarely working when you need it. Joe Rogan swears she's powered by anger and decaf coffee.
This is Hillary Clinton in like 2008 saying some wild type.
She's a Republican.
More than Trump.
And then
It's
you
all
couldn't believe
an illusion.
Greg thinks she has a bad signal that lights up every time someone forgets she lost. So, as Hillary Clinton continues to orbit the political world like a broken satellite, it's safe to say the roast isn't done cooking. This isn't just making fun of someone. It's a full buffet of irony served with a side of cold ambition and reheated delusion. And the grill's still on every time she comes back. It's like political deja vu wrapped in recycled ambition. Hillary doesn't change. She loops like a glitching video game character in a rigged game. She's not running for office. She's speedrunning denial. Joe Rogan pointed out that if Hillary were a software update, it would be the same broken version, with shinier icons and even more bugs, and just when the smoke clears and the silence settles, you hear it again, another Clinton cough echoing through cable news, signaling she's about to restart once more. Stay tuned.